Aaron Cantu, FightHype.com, here with Mauricio Sulaiman. Mauricio, big fight. Charlo's going to defend his WBC 160-pound belt against Juan Macias Montiel. What's your outlook on this fight? Do you think Charlo will be able to get him out early in the fight?
Well, it's a very interesting fight. Two boxers with punching power. The great celebration of Juneteenth in this moment in which the President of the United States has signed a law making this a national holiday. And we created the Freedom Belt, and I'm very proud and happy about it. Now it's going to be a yearly celebration so we can look back and remember the happenings, to remind what we have to do to make sure that human equality and dignity always prevails. It's a fight between two boxers that can punch. Montiel with 22 wins, all by knockout, proves that it can be explosive.
All right, Mauricio, I'm going to get right to it, man, because I have a lot of questions for you, being the president of the WBC. And, you know, probably one of the hottest topics a lot of people have been trying to talk to you about is just the franchise belt in general. And what do you say to the people that may say bringing in new belts, the franchise belt, may devalue the WBC belt itself? What do you say to those people?
Well, I just say every time there's a new concept, a new rule, a new creation, there's resistance. It's human nature. We like to resist change. I'm very happy and proud of the franchise designation because it has created, in just immediate terms, great activity in super middleweight, with the Canelo, who came from middle to super middle to light heavyweight. In the lightweight, he created a great tournament. Unfortunately, some things have happened with Ryan Garcia not being able to continue for now the career, and now Teofimo with COVID-19. But the tournament at Seed was shaping has been very successful. And then in the Superfly, we're going to see Chocolatito and Estrada for the
That's
third
a good
time.
fight, yeah. We're
going to see Cuadras against Rumbisai. Between them four, they have fought 12 times, all great fights. So it's a matter, give us time and you will see it is something for the good. It is intended for the good, to bring the best fights possible.
Well, I would dispute that for the simple fact that, let's be honest, Devin Haney was a mandatory to fight Lomachenko. Once Lomachenko got the franchise belt, we didn't see the fight happen. Canelo had a mandatory challenger in Jermall Charlo, and we didn't get that fight because Canelo got the franchise belt.
It's your personal opinion, and you are influencing the interview. It's good, you can have your opinion, I respect it, but you have to listen to what I'm saying. That's what the interview is all about. Now I'm going to respond what you're saying. Devin Haney, he has been in line. He has been a young fighter developing, and he has been taking the good steps forward, and he's involved in the mix of the lightweight division, as I was saying. Haney is 21, or he was 21. He was 20 when he became the WBC interim, then became the champion. He has made good fights. Now he defeated Linares. He's growing. You gotta give the process time in all aspects. Canelo, he at no time had the thing with Charlo or with anyone. The creation is to make the best fights possible.
But we wanted to see that fight happen, Charlo against Canelo.
So many fights we all want to see. So many fights. I want to see Crawford Spence. I want to see, I'm a fan, but I'm also in the WBC administration. So
I understand it's a business, sir.
No, it's not a business for us. We're doing the administration. It's a business for the promoters. And unfortunately, some fights cannot be made when promoters are not working together. So that's a problem.
Okay, well, let's address the lightweight situation with, you know, Devin Haney. I mean, he's got the WBC title.
Yes.
But we had an issue just because of the franchise belt itself. Teofimo beats Loma, who had the franchise belt, and it does create a dispute. Therefore, you can't really say Teofimo is an undisputed champion, can you?
Of course.
How so?
He defeated Lomachenko.
But isn't Devin Haney a champion as well?
It's a different structure. The WBC created the franchise designation. Teofimo Lopez is the franchise champion. Devin Haney is the WBC champion.
But that's where I bring in and present the idea that doesn't that devalue Devin Haney's title?
No, not at all. Devin Haney is moving along. and he's making, and whenever he fights Lomachenko or Teofimo or Ryan, it's going to be a huge fight for him.
For sure. Well, I just wanted you to clarify. Teofimo Lopez is the undisputed champion at lightweight?
Teofimo Lopez is the undisputed. Devin Haney is the WBC champion.
So can people equate it as, in a sense, like the WBA has their super champion and
I don't like
a regular champion?
If you want to
franchise
like this, okay, but I don't
you think so?
To the WBA.
So because there's only a couple franchise champions, right? Like
Only
you don't give it out for
no,
every division, right?
No. It's very limited. Right now, Canelo is not enforcing the franchise designation because he's
at 68, right?
At 68.
So he doesn't even have the franchise at 68, right? Because he was a franchise at 160, right?
No, but with the franchise, you can move up and down. So you can make the big fights and the fights against other champions without limitations. So at this moment, he's not using the franchise designation. He's unifying with all the champions. So it is not in the way. It's just a mean to make things happen.
Okay. I appreciate you talking to me, and I know that the questions are a little pressing, but
I can answer any single question.
let me ask you this then, man, because so I went to graduate school in San Antonio, and my capstone project was a video about performance-enhancing drugs in boxing. Why did it take so long for the WBC to reinstate Franchise Cruz Dezern after opponent Alejandro Jimenez tested positive in Texas after the fight? How come the WBC dragged its feet in reinstating Cruz Dezern?
We didn't drag any feet. We have to go through a process. If you kill someone right now in front of the cameras and you kill someone,
It's guilty. That's it.
but you go through a jury and you have through a process. You have to go through a process for the judicial system. In anti-doping, and we're clear, and you can check any other case where there has been doping, you go through the process. You have the right to defend yourself. You have the right to express your point of view. The champion, Jimenez, she didn't kill anyone. She was found with an illegal substance.
Yeah, that the Texas Boxing Commission.
Can you, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it was on them.
Turn the camera and you tell us the story. Why you ask me if you don't allow me to? She was found with a illegal substance from a doping test. She had the opportunity to put her case forward. She had a negative test, then the positive, and then the negative test the next day. You have to go through a whole process. You present your case, and then there's an investigation. As simple as that. We've done with that with Povetkin, with every single doping case, so we don't drag anything around.
Okay, fair. Let me ask you this, because you were kind of left out of the loop when the whole situation with Dillian White happened. He tested positive. The doping agency over there and the commissions met, but they never informed you about that situation when it happened, right?
The UCAD sent a notification that there was a first finding. They took 6 months and then they cleared and dropped it out. But during the 6 months of that investigation, we suspended the rights of Dillian White as interim champion.
But you were left out of the loop in that and they were trying to really brush it under the table, man. Like it was shady.
I don't know. That's your perception. I cannot reach a conclusion like that. They hid all the information we had no access, but then they cleared it. So it's a matter that it's complicated. You should be praising the WBC for having the
clean boxing program. Yeah.
Nobody does it. Some boxing commissions are doing it, which is great. Nobody cares, and we spend a lot of money in the clean boxing program, and we are the first to institute doping in 1975, and then we changed from 15 to 12 rounds. We changed the weigh-in a day before. There's many things that you guys don't talk about.
So where do you think the fight against doping is right now? Do you think that
it is always going to be one step behind?
Right?
The more tests that are done is the better. Doping is an industry. you can see in the Olympics, they are one step ahead of the control. I believe boxing is not a dirty sport, but we have to be as aggressive as possible in anything that has to do with doping.
So when a fighter tests positive, you have to put your foot down and put a suspension and put a punishment.
Consistently, but you have to give the due process to anyone who is presumably guilty. They have the right to clear and put their case forward and analyze it. We're not going to take an axe and cut the head off, because there's many things that can happen in a test.
So last thing, and I just want to bring, so you can understand my perspective and why I ask these questions. With boxing being such a brutal and potentially fatal sport, it's dangerous to have these drugs in the sport.
100%. We are fighting so much. We're spending a fortune. We're encouraging people to join in the fight against doping. Doping is not acceptable.